So episode 29.
29.
29.
Let's get it.
Oh, man. So we're not doing any of the questions on here. So you guys are just going to tap into what we got to say. And it's going to be some good stuff. Some really, really, really good stuff. So we're going to be talking about what is happening to our economy.
I've got some ideas, but overall our economy is just going down.
Yeah.
For me, it's just a correction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something needs to happen. If you look at past history, every 2 years, every election year, whether it's presidential election or anything like that, we've had some form of an outbreak. So is that a coincidence? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think there's more to it than just the coronavirus. Unfortunately, we are sacrificing casualties for the coronavirus, and it is a serious virus itself. But when you compare it to the flu kills more people per year anyway.
Yeah.
So I think this kind of be like, I think the whole thing of something new. Oh my gosh, it's new. It's brand new. Nobody knows anything about it. Tends to worry a lot of people. So all of a sudden we have panic in the markets when we're talking about specifically the stock markets, which are completely based on emotion.
Yeah.
So,
which I'm going to actually touch base on because like I was actually even the week prior. I actually started the ending of February. So I was looking at the weekly time frame, and most of you guys know I do not use any indicators. I was just using the volume tool, and I was looking at the amount of pressure that has been building throughout, and there was just a few retests, right? So we had that month where we had the U.S. and China trade talks, and it pushed it down, and people were thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna probably hit a recession now since all that happened. But all it was doing, it was just that it was pushing for March. And you know, we've been talking about this for months and months before that.
You and I have been on top of it.
You know, we're gonna see that March was gonna be the month that it's just gonna fully drop. Like the ending of February was surprising. I thought it was gonna be like the beginning of March, but as I was looking at it on the whole weekly, you know, and going back from like years and seeing where it actually had its retest, and it was just a matter of time that this was going to happen, especially with the whole talks that, you know, we're already at that 10-year period that, you know, we're due for a correction. We're due for a correction, but no one knows when. But when it did happen, like it wasn't surprising. Like, you know, like I just feel like at this point, the government should just allow it to happen. Like, you know, you guys are working way too much to try to, you know, fund it. Money that, you know, we don't have. Like, it's obviously that's a big ass loan. You know, we're getting it from somewhere. You know, where a lot of people in our economy are not even aware that we have a lot of private organizations that are not tied, you know, to the U.S. Like, you know, so and they have funding. You know, like people don't know, like the IRS is a private organization, you know, so like the money's coming from somewhere, but everyone's being like, you know, we're not saying anything. So like it's due to happen. Like, you know, if it probably even comes down to even 18,000, you know, or even goes even lower than that, wouldn't even be surprised. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we actually do get hit with a quarantine for the rest of this month.
Yeah, I mean, it may happen. I mean, right now, especially where we see celebrities are now being affected. You know, those are the untouchables that we normally kind of look up to.
Like, oh my gosh,
you know, like we see Rudy Gobert, what happened with him, Donovan Mitchell now, and Tom Hanks and his wife. Like, these are people that we look at on TV and we watch them all the time, and it's starting to affect them. I was just reading where Charles Barkley's quarantining himself for 48 hours because he thinks he may have it. So, like, I mean, it's real. It's out there.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is getting real. Like, now they're stopping all movie release dates. You know, I think I just read an article. Disney's actually closing down for a month.
Yep.
So it's getting real. And we have seen articles, and I've seen even like a person that's out in Italy, you know, posting a person like their person's sister actually died in front of them, and they were both quarantined, and they wouldn't want to take the body. So this guy is actually on the feed going and explaining like what's really happening, and it's just like it's serious. just especially with the media outlets as how they're even portraying it. They're like, oh yeah, it's just blah blah blah, but the bigger picture is like it's really serious. Like
it definitely is. So I mean, I would recommend everybody be careful with everything. Of course, you don't want to be affected, but at the same time, the one thing I take precaution to on everything is just don't believe everything that's within the media.
Yeah,
like
the media, the people whoever that owns the media are they're getting paid from the boss, the higher ups, to say whatever that what they're paid to do and keep it running. Because we live in a generation where a lot of negative news just keeps getting influence, and that's how they really make their money. If they have no negative things to say, no one's getting paid. Like, the reporters are just going to be there and they're not going to be doing their job. So like they report the good stuff, but majority all the time is, the negative stuff.
Well, I would say if anybody is curious about this, back in 1981, was it? I saw a lot of posts on this.
Yeah.
1981, Dean Koontz wrote a book called The Eye of Darkness. If you read that, like I've seen excerpts from it. I haven't read it.
Wait, you got to slow down. Slow it down for everyone that gonna have to read that book, because I feel like a lot of people are under a rock, and especially what's really just going on and everything. So just repeat that one more time on what book that everyone should read.
The Eye of Darkness by Dean Koontz. That thing is almost 40 years old. 40 years old.
Yeah.
And
what year did it come out?
1981. I wasn't even born yet. I was born in 83, and I think I'm getting old. Man, so you got to know.
You got a 2-year head start.
Yeah. So it's very interesting because it talks about this in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I say, like, none of this stuff really surprises me, and it's hard for me to believe the media like this is all brand new and shit, because really, I mean, how can it be brand new if it was talked about 40 years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I am one that kind of believes in conspiracy theories in that sense, because a lot of them tend to just make sense.
Yeah, we're all aware of like The Simpsons as well too. Like, people think it's just a generic, just funny show, and people look back at it and they're like, wow, like some of it of like the events has been like straight to the T. And some were just kind of like a little far-fetched, but somewhat getting the idea of it. So,
and growing up, I was always looking at people that were like conspiracy theorists, like, "Oh my gosh, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy," and I've kind of become one.
Yeah,
and it's only because I've seen in 36 years, I've seen a lot of shit happen.
Yeah,
and it's hard for me to believe that this is all just by random act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No.
Yeah, everything.
Can't do it.
Everything so far, what we were seeing, just within the markets, it's just been very strategic. Like, it's a lot of fear. Like, like you would think that for a president that he really cares about making our economy so strong, but you look at all the moves that he has done, it's just like makes you question a lot of stuff, especially for him to be getting reelected, and it's just like. Man.
Well, I was reading somewhere they may actually consider if candidates are not necessarily good enough and our economy builds up and gets strong again, if he gets reelected, they may actually bring back the third term.
Wow.
So if people didn't like Donald Trump being in office for 4 years, it's a long shot, but it very well could happen that we end up having him for 12. Huh?
A third term?
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. Because the only person that have done a third term was Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, something like that. One of those first.
So,
one of those first guys that was way before our time. But I think for economic reasons, we've been on a bull run for 11 years in the stock market, but we've never seen a jump since December of 2018 throughout the year of 2019. And all that is just completely erased. I keep talking about how it's completely erased because it's huge.
Yeah.
It reached a point, and we reached new highs everywhere on all three major stock market levels that we've never ever seen. And to have that completely erased is crazy. So for me, I'm like, well, the only person that I really can actually say can bring it back, because he did it once already, is this man.
Yep.
So if I'm thinking that way, I bet there's millions of other people who are going to hit the poll booth like I feel the same way because I have stocks that I've lost.
Yeah, I just
money on.
don't feel like Donald Trump. Like if you look at even his track record of all of his businesses, failed.
Oh, they failed.
Yeah, failed. Probably scams. But to be holding a whole economy and to try to even uplift somewhere that he's never even been before, and the country has never been before in almost about 33 years.
Yeah, today was the worst day in the stock market in 33 years.
Like ever. 2,300 points dropped. It's kind of like alarming, Like if I was in a stock room and I'm holding my pen and paper and I'm like, wow. Just wow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting over the next month. We could see all the sports teams and all the sports actually leagues come back.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks, we could see them delayed even longer, depending on what happens over the next 2 to 3 weeks or 30 days, whatever it may be. Yeah. But if I can give, I'm gonna drop a little quick nugget here for those. I'm not gonna give out numbers.
I'm gonna drop a nugget right back at you, so it'll be back to back.
So, whatever you guys think when this is dropping right now. If it starts to recover within, let's say, the next 3 weeks, expect another drop.
Yeah.
Another major drop.
Yeah, because it's only going to be another correction.
It's going to be the continuous correction.
Yeah, continuous.
So to me, the move that's going to start going up is all it's going to be is just a pullback because all these businesses have to report.
Yeah.
Q1 sucks for everybody.
Yeah. Horribly for April 1st. April 1st, isn't it April Fool's Day? Wow, what is a coincidence? Man, for Q1, that's gonna be really interesting.
Q1 will be over, and then at the end of April, we will see all the numbers come out.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be great because no one, especially if everything is gonna be so slowed down, no one is gonna be yeah, I had a great month during this coronavirus, or being quarantined. No, right. No, don't put your hand up. But overall, what I'm gonna say is that. I know a lot of people are going to be like, what the hell are we talking about? We're talking about, obviously, stock market and everything, but how does this translate to Forex, right? Forex is a currency that we're always going to be using, no matter what economy that we're in right now. Definitely recession-proof. And the fact is that you don't need to have a company to be benefiting. So we're just trading on what the dollar's being strong or being weak. So, and we're capitalizing on it, and that's the most beautiful part. So for all the people that have been on the fence about trading and you're not trading, this is the most greatest time to be trading because, this is once in a decade move, so I highly suggest people should be participating. People should be more educated at this point. You guys should be doing a lot of more research than just getting toilet paper and hand sanitizers.
Facts.
Because it's ridiculous. Back when I was in my struggle days and I was living in the hood, if I didn't have toilet paper, I was taking a shower. I'm just keeping it real.
Hey,
yeah, that's true. I gotta do what I gotta do. Sometimes I took 4 showers in a day. It might sound really funny, but I'm just being honest.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
But it's the fact that people, taking full advantage on toilet paper. I was reading an article during the New York session. It took Costco. It hasn't been like that for the past 30 years that they were sold out of toilet paper, just toilet paper.
Yep.
It's been
sold out.
It's just crazy.
For those that are on the fence, if you guys can either hear me on IG or you're watching or you're listening, this isn't going to be the only move.
Yeah.
So
we're only getting started.
Well,
we're only getting started.
You're gonna. This is the preview to say, hey, Forex is here, right? Believe it because this is here.
Yeah.
And if you don't take action.
And before you actually add that, but even with cryptocurrency. So if I was just even actually explaining this earlier. So if you got to look at our generation, and I'm not saying our generation is the most intelligent generation. I'm just being honest. The fact is that if we have the time to go get hand sanitizer and sell out and racking out from all these stores, it's not going to give the intelligence for people to want to invest into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is like a whole nother language for people to actually understand, to actually when buying and selling and stuff like that. So if you're actually buying Bitcoin, don't. You want to be selling it and holding it, because the value of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is just going to be dropping. It's been saying that's going to be pushing up to the upside for a long time. It hasn't. It's been struggling. If you guys even look at the monthly, weekly, even daily time frames, you guys can see it is a completely bearish market. Yep. So just wanted to throw that out there for all the crypto fans. I'm sorry, but your dreams has been crushed. Like,
yeah, I couldn't believe it, seeing that it went down to 3K today.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
You know?
What I was going to add into what I was saying, for those that either aren't necessarily believers in Forex, you're going to have one more shot at this.
Yeah,
one more shot to really set your life, and that's going to be on the way up.
Yep.
So if you miss out on the down, you can get in on the up, but definitely apply yourself. If you sit back and wait, the longer you wait, you're going to miss out on an opportunity like this that you're going to have to wait a long time for.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I just take it as this is just life changing. Like, you know, this is I wouldn't say like the most greatest time to be American, but
no, it's the most greatest time to be a Forex trader.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Whether you're American, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in
just overall for
wherever.
any forex traders. So like if you guys are participating in it, then great. If you're not, then the money is always going to be there. So
and if travel is suspended for 30 days the way that it's supposed to be, then we're going to see currencies. We're seeing the stock market now, but that's just the tip of it. The currencies are already starting to drop, but we could see that in a little bit of a longer term as well.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody, if you want something, a skill set that's going to be able to give you more security in times like these, especially if we end up doing a recession.
Yeah.
And if this stock market drops any further, then what was it, Leak? You think it's going to 15,000? We're going to end up in a depression at that point.
Oh yeah, it's a whole new term.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be in that.
It really comes down to what side you want to be a part of. You want to be the depressing side, or you want to be the most profitable side. So, really, you're really giving a choice now to, like, if you really want to benefit yourself long term.
Yep. The Forex market is saying, "I'm here. Take advantage."
Yeah, it's really screaming, "I'm here, and I'm here to stay, and I'm not going anywhere." So, because I had a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, so is the Forex market going to crash as well?" I'm like, "No.
Nope.
Like, it's never going to crash.
No way for the Forex market to crash.
It's something that money is always going to be exchanged no matter what condition of the market that we're in." So, but yeah, it just benefits us.
So I'm curious, where do you think with what happened today, the announcement that we're going to have the 1.5 trillion injected into the stock market, right, to help fund it?
Yeah.
It's going to be 3 $500 billion injections. We did 500 billion today. We're going to have 2 more after this. Where the hell do you think that money's coming from?
I don't know, and that's a very great question.
1.5 trillion is a lot of money.
I think it's a lot of private organizations that we have within the country, like, you know, with student loans, like, you know, like the IRS, like. They definitely hold good amount of capital because they're taking money from everybody. Like, you know, like everybody, you know, for the people that are not educated on the taxes part, they know how to go around that, you know, especially like how Donald Trump hasn't even wanted to submit his tax returns, you know. He's one of those people that, you know, that know the code when it comes to taxes. So, like, you know, it's not getting printed money because it's money that they still going to have to owe back. So, like, it's a really complex question because, you know, to be finding that amount of capital when it makes you question that if they could get that capital injected, right, this could have been like prevented like as soon as it was even an attempt to come out. So, and then it makes you really think like, all right, this is definitely now strategic. You know, this was just not to just let out. It was meant to let out. They planned it, you know. So kind of fucked up in a way, but it's really, really, really messed up to how.
So to add on top of that, yesterday we were addressed by Donald Trump based on the bearish economic news.
Yeah, but if you even hear his conference, it was basically, it wasn't even educated at all. Like,
no, he was
just
reading,
putting a face on a mic and saying whatever just to say.
That's exactly what it was.
And then look what happened after that. Everything just started to melt. Like, I swear, like, I've never met anyone that could push the market to the downside as fast as he can.
Oh, it dropped 300 points as soon as he came on the mic.
I was like, man.
Pause.
So,
so there was one thing that he did mention of what he wants relief for, and this makes me. Did you catch that?
he's like.
You caught that leak?
You know that baby meme. He's like,
yeah. So, in one of the things to help stimulate the economy to help it recover a little bit, he's talking about actually giving tax relief for the next 9 months. I know
that's what you kind of like touch base on, which
this worries the fuck out of me.
It'd be amazing right now, but next year we're all gonna be fucked because it's either we're gonna be paying back to the IRS heavily, or I just don't know. Like, I know we're definitely gonna be paying back because people that have Social Security, for all the old people, we're paying our taxes, roads getting done, construction, like. Social Security is gonna be gone, like,
and that worries me as well because I have an elderly mother.
Yeah.
So, if her Social Security stops,
yeah,
that's gonna put her in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm. And it's gonna cause more deaths, more funerals, and that all costs money.
But for anybody that's in the working force, what was not touched on, which I haven't seen any details on.
He actually even wants to cut medical cuts too,
right?
Which is even like baffling.
Well, the cost of Medicare, he also, medical costs in the sense he wants people that don't necessarily have good insurance or they have Medicare that they get completely seen and they get tested for corona so they can survive from it. So he's kind of taking away what I think it was Joe Biden who won Super Tuesday based upon the healthcare portions. Mm-hmm. He literally stepped in and said, "Oh, well, like it was kind of like, here, you're gonna say this for Super Tuesday and win. Yeah, I'm gonna.
It was just basically copying what he just initially was trying to get the message across.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think that there's a lot more to this than just the virus itself. But my concern, like I said, is the general well-being of the population that's working, because I don't want to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
I get my full paycheck. I take care of my family. My house is okay. My family's okay for the next 9 months, and then all of a sudden I owe $10,000 next year because I had $0 going into taxes.
Yeah.
If somebody can sit here and tell me, oh, they're gonna relieve the taxes for next year, and the only thing you have to claim is January and February and March, hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a true stimulus.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna sit there, stimulate the economy, and then turn around and ask me for the money back. To me, I'm gonna tell you, fuck you. Just take my taxes.
It's like thank you for being a U.S. citizen, but for you being a U.S. citizen, can you pay us back?
Exactly. Like, I'm good on that. In that case, just keep my taxes now.
Oh man.
I don't want anything changing. I don't want to. I've been there on my own. I've made those decisions where I had no taxes coming out, and I've been screwed. And I'm just out of that debt. I don't want to go right back into it. That was the worst 5 years of my life. Every year I get no tax return because it's going to the IRS. You think I want to do that again?
Yeah.
No, just take my taxes as is, please. So I don't know. There's things behind it that I'm like, really, where's all this stuff coming from, and what are you going to ask me for in the long run? Yeah, sounds good, but is it too good to be true?
Yeah, that's facts. Is there anything that you want to elaborate on? Because I feel like we just kind of like tackled it like a full storm.
I mean, we definitely did. It's just more or less what is happening day by day. The only thing I ask,
we're just gonna be watching everything. How everything occurs, what articles are, anything that comes up that that draws attention. So it's basically just watching how basically watching our economy just kind of like crash.
Yeah.
So,
but watching it with open eyes, please, if you have if you're hearing anything and you have questions in your mind, and it says, "Hey, why would something like this happen?" Really think about it. Look to the bigger and the bigger picture, like you always say on your IG stories. The bigger picture. There's a bigger picture and bigger end result to all of this.
Like honestly,
what is that?
Yeah, and honestly, the time to becoming an entrepreneur, but finding passive income is very, very important. Finding what the economy needs. So if you're into like Amazon automation, ATMs, like if you have the capital, cash is actually the most valuable thing right now. So the more you have it, the more you could spend, the more you could take advantage on the economy, the more you could have an ROI. And then if we do have a recovery, then you got it.
It's kind of funny you just said something. You said how cash is, cash is king right now, right?
Yeah.
Cash was on its way out when Bitcoin hit 20,000.
Oh yeah,
right.
It was.
And it's
was right there.
It's sitting there on the backside talking about, Bitcoin's at 3K, and I'm here. I'll always be here.
Yeah.
Cash is always going to be there. It's just it's funny to see that. You know? So I don't know. I find this stuff interesting for myself to stay knowledgeable on it, stay on top of the fundamental news, et cetera, to know where our economy's at, because I don't want to be left behind.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody, even if you're not a trader, just pay attention and, like I said, keep your eyes open.
Most definitely. Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I think that wraps up for episode 29.
29 in the books.
Right? Talking about our current economy and watching it from the sideline and see how everything goes and plays out.
Yes, sir.